Hi friends and everyone, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. My name is Frederick and I'm happy to have you here today. In this video, we are going to look at how to send message to groups in .NET 8 Web API and Blazor WebAssembly using Signal-R. I have already made a video on how to create hub connection and also hub service to interact between the Web API and our WebAssembly. So if you haven't checked that one out, check the video description and you can find it in there. This video, we are continuing that. But I'll also take you through this, okay? What we did previously, I'll take you through in this video as well. You know, Signal-R is a package created by the ASP.NET Core team, and it actually helps us to communicate real time between our API and also on WebAssembly or in a Blazor application. It is full duplex. It means that as soon as event happens, it gets client notified. So you don't need to be calling that to get a current update. The system will actually push it to you. Then in this video, what are we going to do? The first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to work on the API first. Then we subscribe to this in the WebAssembly. In the API, we're going to create a hub. That's what we did in the previous video. We raised our hub, we raised our course in there. And aside from that, we need to create a service so we can have access to group members. That is a predefined group members. Aside from that, we're going to create a controller so we can have access to group name, group members, and available groups, and a lot. Okay. And now when you go to the WebAssembly, we're going to create a service. Which service is going to get connected to the hub in the API. We're going to build a hub URL. We're going to create a service and erase the service. And I integrate this service in the Blazor component. That is all that we need to do in here. As you know, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, then you do that. And also don't forget to click on the notification bell to receive update as soon as I upload new content. You can like this video and find this video informative as well. So in here, I have a solution created and I have a new project added. As you can see from here, Web API, and I have a Web Assembly. That is in .NET 8. Now with the Web API, let's first look at how to work with the Web API first. Then we come back to the Web Assembly. In the Web API, what is the first thing that you need to do here is to create your hub service. After installing the Signal-R package, you need to create a hub service. Now what is this hub service going to do? In the hub service, we are having a group in here that's a predefined groups. And for the purpose of this video, I made 3 groups: administrators, managers, and our users, as you can see from line 8. The next one here is we have a connection groups. What is this connection we're going to do? Actually, it is concurrent dictionary. Why do I use concurrent dictionary? I use that because concurrent dictionary is a thread safe dictionary to store group names and client connection IDs. Concurrent dictionary implement lock to concurrent threads. Threads are the requests that come in from the users. So let's say 2 users want to access this at the same time. This concurrent dictionary has a capacity to handle these threads. Aside from that, we have some method in there. Get members. We pass in the group name, and now since this connection here is going to handle the ID and also the group name of each user, we can now have the group IDs as a key, and we're going to have the group names as what the values. So we want to grab all the keys into a list. We want to create a list of group members, look through the connection IDs. Now with each connection ID, we want to find the value and check if the value here is equal to the group name. Okay, now the group name that I'm going to pass in here, if it is, then add it to this group. So when we pass in administrators group, at the end of the day, we're going to get all members who have this administrators group. We return it at the end of the day in line 20. The next one here is we want to check. It's a Boolean method. We want to check if the user is already in a group. The motive of this here is we don't want user to join 2 or more groups. One user can join a group at a time. If you want to join another group, then you have to disconnect and now connect again and now join a new group. That is what this system is about. Then in that, we pass in the connection ID, and now since we have this as a dictionary which contains a key and now the value as our connection ID and then the group name, we can now make a search and see. So you pass in the connection ID as a key. Then we need to get an out variable as a value. Okay, and in that the value here is the group name. So we check if group name is not there already, then we can return true or false. Then we're going to find the group name. So pass in the group name, and we're going to get if the group exists. Now that is a group in here. We have 3 groups in here. So the group that you pass in there, if it doesn't correspond with any of these, then we're going to return false. Get group name. Get user group name. Pass in the current connection ID, and I'll give you the group name. Get available groups. Since we have the chat groups as a list of strings already, we can return it as a available groups because this is predefined group that we have created. If you're implementing database, then there's no need for you to create this in here. Put this or store this in the database, make a query from it, and I'll return it. From the concurrent dictionary too, you can also do that. You can store these IDs and now the connection group name in the database, so you can be calling this anytime that you want. Okay, let's maintain this for now because we are not implementing database here. So we have our service here, nicely created, very simple one, and that is the work that is going to do to help us. Okay, now that we have our service, what's the next thing to do? We have to create our connection, and that's a Signal Hub connection. We did this in the previous video, but here we have done, or we're going to do some modification to this. When the client get connected or when the client get disconnected, we want to notify all client. So that's the reason why we override this method, unconnected and now undisconnected. So when it's connected, we want to send message to all that this person has left. If joined, we want to do same, this person just joined. Aside from that, here we have our undisconnected. You know, in our groups, when the user disconnects, we want to remove the connection ID. We don't want the ID to persist while the user is out. No, we want to remove it so that we can see the available users or the online or the connected users for that specific group only. So that's the reason why we have this method implemented from a hub connection group. That is a dictionary. We want to pass in the key, and now we need to find an add variable as the value. So you put it as a group name. Now this group name, it is useful because we're going to get the group members, and a group member, there's a method known as get members, and that is why you need to specify the group name. So the group name that you have in here as an add variable, kindly pass it on here. We have your group members. Once you have the group member, that's an updated members minus the current user who just left. Pass it on to notify group of new join, and add here is a list of string. So pass it on here, and now get the current users to that specific group. The next method here is to send message to a specific group. So what do you need? We need the group name, we need the message that the person wants to send. After that, you can see client.group pass in the group name and now send async. This is a method that we're going to subscribe to that in the client section. We pass in the current connection ID and also the message of the user. Join group, that is where we want to join. Before we join that, we want to find out if that group that the user want to join exists, because the user has to provide group name. So search and verify if the group exists. So line 23 is going to set. In case it does exist, then we're going to check is the user already in another group. So we find it from the hub service, and in case it isn't, then we want to assign the ID of the user to the group name as a value. ID will be the key, value will be going to be the group name in the connection groups. Aside from that, we want to add it to a group from the groups here, and I will pass in the connection ID and then the group name. In case the user is already joined, then you want to just get the members in here and now send it, notify the group of new join. Or after the user has been added to a group, we want to get the members in here because user has been added and now the group members have increased. So you want to get the members again and then notify the client that new person has joined. So now that we have our hub, what is the next thing that we're going to do? Let's go to our program.cs file. We have to register our service. So register the hub service, register Signal R, and also add your course to it. After that, you need to register, you have to build the URL for the hub. Good. Now that we are done with this, we can create our controller to utilize the service. create in the controllers folder, have a new controller known as the Hub Service Controller, which implements only 3 methods. This endpoint get group name is going to get us the group name. This is going to get us the available groups. Currently, we have only 3 predefined groups, and this endpoint is going to give us when a client make a call to this. The next one is the client going to provide connection ID, and this service or this endpoint is going to exchange it with the group name. Fantastic. Very simple. That is what we are doing in here. Good. So now that we have our connection, our API, our server ready, what we're going to do here is to tackle the WebAssembly, isn't it? Great. So in the WebAssembly, what we're going to do here is we're going to create a connection. That's a connection service. In that, we're going to build our URL. So as you can see from here, in the primary constructor introduced in C# version 12, line 6, we are injecting a navigation manager. In that, you have an action in here. Now this action is going to notify as soon as the user state changes from connecting, connection, connected, disconnected, reconnecting, and etc. We can get all of these endpoints from the hub. So we can do this to get the component notified as soon as the state changes. We build a URL, we specify the route to the API. Then we're going to start connection manually. So we have this to start connection async. We want to close connections to disconnect the connection. And in here, we want to check, get a connection state. If the state here, we're going to use the switch, right? So if the state here is equal to connected, then do this, invoke disconnected. Invoke method here is a method that we have created, and we're going to pass in the message that you want to display. Okay? Then we have connecting, do same, reconnecting, do same, disconnected, do same. In case you don't have any of this, then error. Okay. Good. So now that we have this, because this is a method that we're doing, we're going to assign this connection state here as this message. We're going to pass the message from this invoke, and that's what you're doing for each of the case method. Okay, so now that we have this connection created, what's the next thing that we're going to do? We have to go to program and register this connection. So we're doing that in here, and now we are binding the URL of the API to this base address of this HTTP, because we're going to make an HTTP call to that. Once you're done with that, we go to our home component, and that's where we are going to do the magic in here. We inject our HTTP client, we implement our disposable, we inject our second connection class that we just created. In here, we have available groups. We're going to give you available groups. Aside from that, we have our connection and a disconnect. So 2 buttons to connect and a disconnect. Display all online users in here. And aside from that, display the connection state. So if connected, display if disconnecting, display if connecting, display. So you're going to display all the state in there. In here, we're going to get the group members. So if I click on this button, I want to join this group. Then I want to, as soon as you get me join, display all the members in here. So within the group, we're going to have the current or the connected members for the specific group. Put in mind that we created a predefined groups, 3 groups, isn't it? I hope you do remember. That's great. So as soon as you join each of the group in here, you're going to have the member display beneath. And that's what we are displaying that in this card body. When you go to group name, we have a table that we're going to display group name chat. So the group name here is going to be the administrator, the users, or the managers. So we're going to have managers chat, administrators chat, and etc. Now, all the message that you're going to type, put them here. So you can see we have the chat message, and I'll be looking through this chat message, and I'm displaying them one after the other. Here, you want to change, you want to shift left and right. If I'm the one sending, it should be on mine, that is on my right. If the client is just connecting to me or chatting me, it should be on the left. So we are having this method as format default message and using this markup string. In this, we are implementing just an HTML element to move left and right. And also, aside from that, we want to have a break. So the break is what we have this markup string. Break and also the EM tag to actually underline or italize the sender. We do same if it contains this connection ID, that is my message, shift it to the end. That's what you see, left is 75. If it's from the person, then left it was 0. So shift to the right. So here, this is going to be the left, I think so, and that is going to be the right. Yes. So for my message, it should be on the right. For the client message, it should be on the left. Aside from that, we have a test area, and we have the button as send message, which has this event bound to it. So this is the code for that. we have a message, we have a group name. This is the chat group members, and that we have our available groups. This is an online users chat message. So all these are lists of string. As you can see, this is an iterable of string. We're going to hold members, groups, users, and also chat messages. When the page initializes for the first time, you want to subscribe to the state change event in the service that you created. Aside from that, we have a method known as subscription. Now, subscription here has about 3 methods that are going to subscribe to the hub. All client notification, notify a group of new join, and our chat. In that, you see we have a list that we are adding. Each we are adding group members, and now here we're going to get the group members, and now here we're going to add the chat message. Aside from that, you can see we have connection ID created in here, because if we want to send this connection ID, if you want to send message, as soon as the user gets connected, you need to store the connection ID somewhere, and that's the reason why we're doing it in here. So when the user gets connected, we're going to notify this, and in that we can have the connection ID stored in here. Now the next thing that we're going to do here is we want to get a group name. So we call this service passing the connection ID. Since it is available now, we can get it. When we are done, then invoke this method, send message to group, passing this connection ID, the group name, and the message that the user has just typed. After that, collect the content. Now get groups. Available groups, call this endpoint in the controller to get you the available groups. Now load groups here is when the user clicks on join. So you see from here, get group members, and now aside from that, get status change. Now this groups here is going to get available groups. It's not going to get available groups. This method is going to get the available group, but this method is going to get the groups related to a specific, or the members related to a specific group. So that's why we have this method get group members, passing a group name, and this method is going to return the list of what group members in that specific group. Join group here, it is where we call the join group method, and now we want to save this to the concurrent dictionary. So in there, we're going to specify the connection ID as a key, and now the group name as a value. Get group members, we pass the group name, and now from the endpoint, we want to get the group members from this group name. Now in here, we have our format foreign message and our format default message. Now you see we are appending the break to that. And that's why we have a left and right display. So you can see we are splitting, getting 0, the first one, getting the last one, and then we can manipulate it and now reformat it again. So we're doing it from here and now this. If I click on connect, start connection, click on disconnect, disconnect, close connection. And now when page disposes, you want to unsubscribe to this state change event specified in our service. That is exactly what we're doing. That is all. Very simple and clear. Now let's go to our program and register this. So we've done this already. You have to register the service in our connection and also add this base address to the API. Good. Now we can now run this and check it out. So I have I'm building or running this as multiple projects. So let's click on this to start it up, and now let's check it out. Alright, so you can see that our apps have launched, and in there if we check from our controller, we have the endpoint. We have this endpoint group name, available groups, and also get the user group name, but we are not much interested in this. Now let's check from our client, our Blazor application. You can see from here that we have this available groups. We have administrator group, we have managers, and now we have users. This is calling this from the service that we created in the hub service through the controller. This person has joined, so you can see we have this person join, and the state here is what's connected. You can disconnect, so see what happened. Disconnect, and this state was changed to disconnected. I can connect again, and now you can see it has joined, so you have connected. Aside from that, you can also click on this, and now as soon as I click on that, you see we have this pop-up, and that is the administrators members. So here there's no member in there, and I can decide to join this. As soon as I join this page is going to get notified through the hub, and now I can have the current user down here. So check it out. That is my ID. This is your ID in there, and now this is your ID. So it means this group you are connected. Now let's see. So I'm going to create this, another one in here. This person is also going to get connected. Now let's see here, we're going to have it notified. Yes, so we have a new person connected. Now this person can click on admin, and now this person sees that, okay, there's one connection. Let's see, let me also join this. So you can see we have two people connected, two clients connected. Check here, we have it in there. Now there's an admin, so this person can now start chatting. So hi from admin, and now see what's going to happen. Click on send. You can see we have it down here. That's the format from default, and this is going to be from the other side. Now check here, you can see we have it from the other side, isn't it? We have the break, and that's all from the other side. Now this person is going to respond. So hi from, let me make it as welcome from admin, send, and now you have it in there. Now go to the other side, you see we have it here, welcome from admin, we have it in there. Now these people are in the administrators group. Let's open another group as manager. So I'm going to grab this one, then open the next tab down here, and now within this we're going to join as manager. So let's join this manager group. So join this. Let's also grab it, and now another one, that person also going to join manager group. Let's say the chat that they're going to chat within the group, let's see if it's going to get reflected in another group or not. Now so this is the manager, and I'll join this. So on the manager group we have two people join. Now hi from manager. Now click on send, and I see what happened. This person gets it, hi from manager. Then now type welcome from manager. Welcome from manager, and now this person also gets it. Now let's go to the administrator and check, do you have it in here? No, we don't. So that's it, that each group can now have their private chat. All that you need to do here is join the group and now start chatting. When you have any subsequent requests or any subsequent joins, you're going to get notified. You're going to see that, and now you can start chatting the person. You can actually modify this. This video is helping you to know how to connect to a group and also how to chat in groups using Signal R in Web API and on Blazor WebAssembly. That is all that I have for you today. I believe you guys enjoyed it, as I enjoyed teaching you as well. Thank you so much for watching this, and hopefully I'm going to catch you up for the next update. Well, I'll think about that, okay? And I'm going to catch you up again. Till then, take care.